Hello, everybody. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I already see Amr in the picture as well. Hello. Yes, sorry. So good morning, everyone, and welcome from MENA House in Cairo. Now I'm sitting in Switzerland. My name is Stella Prodanovic, and I'm the sales director for Switzerland and Italy for Abercrombie & Kent and for Sanctuary Retreats. I'm glad that you could all take the time to join us today. We're going to try to condense as much useful information as possible in these 30 minutes, but before we can start, I'd like to go over a few details related to our time together. You're probably already familiar with webinars, and as you can see, you're all muted in order to avoid any background noise during the webinar. At the end of the presentation, I will moderate any questions that you have, so please add any questions to the Q&A box. Our spokesperson today is Amr Badr, our Managing Director of A&K Egypt, based in Cairo. Muted, but we'll unmute maybe later. And now, before I turn things over to Amr, for those who are new to our A&K series, I would like to take a few minutes to talk about why is A&K a good partner in general, but also especially now when it comes to planning travel in post-pandemic times. A&K has been the leader in luxury travel for almost 60 years, which means that due to our many years of experience, we possess a great deal of knowledge on how to overcome challenging times. We have accompanied many partners through difficult times before and can also support you now. Today, we're represented in over 30 countries on all continents. This year, we were able to welcome our newest member to the A&K family, our office in USA. Our more than 55 local offices adhere to our health and safety standards, which are reviewed by our headquarters in London. Now, more than ever, our local offices make A&K the only global travel company that can ensure health and safety protocols are monitored, mapped, and exceeded worldwide, which will be fundamental to instill confidence as your clients begin to travel in this post-pandemic time. Now, our operational logistical experience gives us the flexibility to adapt the itineraries in the real time. I'm going to interrupt. I see the Sanctuary on because I don't have a control of the slide. Can you go back on the A&K? Thank you. Okay, sorry, where was I? Operations. So operations and logistical experience give us the flexibility to adapt the itineraries in the real time, and this is paramount because we have local knowledge and long-standing partnerships with embassies, consulates, local governments, tourism authorities, airport officials, just to name a few. We are leaders in luxury travel with expertise in private, customized and VIP service. This allows us to tailor each single trip to the wishes and requirements of every single guest. And for those who want to avoid the crowds and enhance privacy and physical distance from others during this time, we can arrange fast tracks at airports and tourist attractions, early or late access to museum outside opening hours, but also private planes, helicopters, yachts, and much more. All this ensures our health and safety measures are met and exceeded. So although we're well known in the luxury sector, we have expanded our portfolio and can offer you 4-star trips in many destinations, both for individuals and for groups, because the experience is often worth more than the stars. So please don't only contact us for the high-end segment, try us out without any commitments, but just tell us if your customers have a smaller budget. Speaking of experiences, our DMCs are also known for a wide array of insider access and best guides and services on site. So for those who are not familiar with the term insider access, please let us know per email or per phone and we'll explain it better to you, or maybe even Amr is going to say more in his presentation right now. So don't forget, we're never more than a phone call away. Now to the map. So Amr, could you help me with the map? 2 slides forwards, 1 backwards. Thank you. For those who do not yet know our full portfolio, here is a quick map of our main operational offices worldwide. As mentioned before, together with our USA DMC, we are now represented on all the continents. And to complete this quick overview, I will only briefly mention Sanctuary Retreats, which is owned by A&K. Sanctuary Retreats has 13 boutique lodges in East and Southern Africa in its portfolio, with unique experiences such as living with elephants, star beds and star baths, and much more. I said 13, we were 12. We were supposed to open Tambarare in Kenya this summer. due to COVID, this got postponed onto December, so we'll be coming 13 then. The portfolio also includes beautiful small boutique river cruises in Egypt, Myanmar and China. For those of you who don't know Sanctuary Retreats yet, if you have more questions about it, please let us know. We'll be happy to tell you more about it. Our European team is always at your disposal. And now I would like to give the word over to Amer. I'll come back with the questions later. Hello, Amer. How are you?
Thank you. Hello. Good morning. Thank you, Stila. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Great pleasure to meet you via this webinar. I'm very much looking forward to welcome all of you shortly to Egypt or come and visit with you everywhere in Europe. We actually miss being on a plane. We miss seeing all of you. And like they say, out of the difficult times always comes good things, and I strongly believe so. The last nearly 4 months have been really difficult for I think everyone in the industry, everyone in the world. Egypt closed down literally on the day of March 19th, 2020. Since then, I would say that Egypt did its best to get ready for when it's reopened. Remember, the Egyptian industry of tourism has been through a lot in the last 10 years. We've had a couple of major political changes, call it revolution, call it whatever. We've had different types of slowdown and uptake. So we know more than anyone that things may slow down, but they always come back, and they come back stronger. And that's at least the pattern we've seen, the pattern I've seen since I've joined this industry over 20 years ago. So during that time, Egypt prepared itself by sanitizing all the hotel facilities, tourist sites, airport facilities, port facilities. A lot of vocational training continued and took place. A lot of restoration and renovation and new openings have been in the work, and we'll talk about that a little later. But really impressive list of new things that people can come and visit for those who've been to Egypt before. Just to mention one like Tahrir Square, the most iconic, famous square is about to be open shortly, and it looks really, really impressive in terms of the obelisk they put in place, or the Avenue of Sphinx they've created, or the evacuation of the most famous building in Cairo, which has almost 60,000 worker in it every day. That's the place known as Complex Administrative Building, where you come and get your paper sorted. That building now is being evacuated, and it will be basically a hotel or a mall. There's a lot of new ideas about that place, as well as many other things that are being currently finalized to open for the public very shortly, and for obviously the tourists. So COVID-19 in one way or the other has helped us to basically plan for the season. Obviously, as you know, we've had an incredibly busy 2 years in 2019 and 2018. We've seen an incredible growth during those 2 years. Numbers last year reached over 15 million tourists, and the numbers were expected to hit 20 for 2020. Of course, it's going to be a slow year like everywhere else, but we still believe that we'll still have a reasonable season, at least the third and fourth quarter, and definitely much more fourth quarter. And of course, 2021 hopefully will be a good year. Just want to show you some of the visitors we've enjoyed having last year, even though they're mostly American celebrities, but it kind of gives you a flavor to the popularity of the place. If you look there, this beautiful lady with the red scarf is Alicia Keys, who had an incredible trip to Egypt and wrote actually a couple of songs. Forrest Whitaker, Sylvester Stallone, Owen Wilson, and many, many others. Everyone who came to Egypt, I would say, what they all shared in terms of their comment was just an incredible experience, a great story. And that's very true of Egypt. It's not just the visit, it's not just the sites, it's actually the experience, the people, the culture, the scenery, and the diversity. And that's what makes Egypt very incredible. Now, you know, people ask, why should I come now? And I say, actually, because I've been doing this for many years in terms of selling Egypt after a certain crisis. Now, this time it's a global crisis, not an Egypt crisis. So why come to Egypt now? I think because, in my opinion, still Egypt is best enjoyed when it is not so crowded. It's actually a very, very beautiful destination, even more beautiful because it becomes a bit more exclusive. So imagine yourself at the pyramids or at the Temple of Luxor or in the desert or on the beach somewhere, you know, more or less in a more private way. And that certainly makes Egypt a much more enjoyable place for people to visit. A lot of new development, like I said earlier. So if you look at the picture there, you'll see the Abdeen Palace on the top of the slide. Abdeen Palace is the presidential palace of Egypt, which was built about 200 years ago, and it's finally now been open for private visits, which we could arrange. And this is one of the most beautifully built royal palaces in the world, with 450 rooms and an architect that really dazzled you when you go and walk through this palace. The center in the slide is the Belgian palace of the Baron Impan. The Baron Impan is the one who built the city of Heliopolis, or the city of the sun, on the eastern side of Cairo. Again, this palace, everyone who knows Egypt probably had seen it on the way to the airport. And everyone, I recall, always asked, can I go and visit? Yes, you will be able to go and visit. In fact, I was fortunate enough to attend the preview with the Belgian team and the Belgian ambassador in Cairo. And it is definitely a great, great work of the Ministry of Antiquities and Tourism. The Aswan West Bank, the Grand Egyptian Museum, which was supposed to open in 2020 and now will actually be open next year, unfortunately, due to the delay of the coronavirus, but we can still arrange for some of our visitors to go and visit there. So quite a lot of actually new things are happening. We've got, like I said, incredible stories out of Egypt. And I want to begin with a story of a lady that lives in Monte Carlo, between Monte Carlo and Geneva, a lady called Lady Flora. Lady Flora is about 90 years old. She was born in Cairo, I believe 1930 or 1925, around that time. And she left Egypt maybe in the early 40s. And it was her dream to come back to Egypt. They had a house near the Jewish synagogue in Adli Street in Cairo. And it was her dream always to come back to Egypt. So her son, who's an incredibly successful man, called me and said that he wanted to surprise his mother to bring her for the birthday and make a surprise visit to her. So they took her on a private plane from Geneva. They didn't tell her where they were going. They landed in Cairo, and then they told her basically, we're in Cairo, and they didn't tell her what they're going to do, but we put together this incredible trip for her where we were able to show her, of course, a lot of the Jewish heritage in Egypt, and also a lot of the highlights like the pyramids, like the museum, and also arrange for her to meet with the former First Lady of Egypt, Madam Sadat, the wife of the peace hero, President Anwar Sadat. And you can see this, the picture speaks themselves. There at the pyramids with her grandson, or great-great-grandson. Above that is the visit to the Jewish temple where I think she was baptized. And there at the airport when she arrived and was welcomed by our senior airport manager, Maisa, famous lady, and was very surprised to finally meet an Egyptian on an Egyptian land. And there, of course, the picture with the former First Lady. The family is basically a mix of European citizens, so Swedish, Swiss, French, Belgium. Again, this is the kind of great stories that come out of Egypt, as I said, as part of the diversity of the culture, as part of the diversity of the people and the things you can do. In fact, she did tweet, I saw yesterday, something about her trip to Egypt. And I'll be happy to share this through Stella with all of you if you want to look at that. But what an incredible story that basically happens in Egypt. And like that, a lot of other stories. We have a lot of preferences to show you things in Egypt, and basically from doing a tour on the Nile, and I'm actually jumping almost to the southern Egypt because I know that's an important part to all of you, and particularly our European guests who like and know us obviously for our reach and our knowledge and capabilities on the Nile, not only through the sanctuary fleet, which we're very proud of, but also through our knowledge of the Nile River ships. So we know all the good ships on the Nile, the excellent ships on the Nile, from the Oberoi to the Sonesta to Dahabeyas that are owned by different individuals, or to the other boats from the Mövenpick to all the other boats that we use. Obviously, what you see here is the beautiful sanctuary, Nile Adventure, completely renovated boat almost last year, 32 cabin with really beautiful design. And again, one of the things that we deliver on the Nile is we deliver you the experience you want. So the serenity, the sanctuary, the elegance, the hygiene, the safety that you want on a river ship. And that's what makes our ships very different from others. There may be others with bigger cabin, there may be others with more facilities, but then the experience is not exactly the same, or the overall enjoyment is a bit more different. So ours is, I think, is very customized to a great European taste, to a great continental taste, which makes them very, very, very excellent choice for somebody who wants to come on the Nile. And those pictures actually don't even do the reality enough justice. So you will be able to have an incredible experience on those ships, from the deck to the service of the people, to the quality of the food. And of course, as part of now the COVID-19 requirements, we are adapting to a new reality. So the new norm, the double N I call it, every time there is a crisis, we come up with a new term. So the new term now is the double N, the new norm. So the new norm, of course, now we're going to be allowed to reoperate with the 25% capacity. We will have to abolish buffets and replace that into a la carte services and set menus. We will have obviously tables being more distance, staff with masks, and obviously all the new norms of the temperature check, daily doctors on board, as well as all the sanitizers in all the public areas and so on. And of course, the use sometimes of disposable material. We hope that obviously the world will go back to normality at some point, but we are completely prepared, and we've been spending a lot of time during the last particularly 2 months getting ready for the moment when we are told to reopen. The Sanctuary Sunboat 4, a 42 cabin, again, completely renovated last year. Beautiful boat, again, with very, very elegant design and French balconies for all the rooms. So imagine you're sailing the Nile and that's the view you have. You're getting really the mix of Arabia, Africa, Egypt, and that's the beauty. We don't just do the designs, we really bring the artists, the great artists to come and help us put together basically the best of Egypt in terms of, you know, the trays, the fabrics, the carpets, just the little touches of everything is just to try and really brings the best of that area and the best of Egypt art to your eyes, which really, I think, makes for an incredible reflection on the guests when they get on board and basically sail the Nile with us. Again, beautiful pools, spacious. One of the things that our boats are very known for, and that's actually all 4 of them, is the beauty of exterior and the space that we offer people. A lot of people decided to put more cabins. We decided to give more space. So actually, again, like I said, out of crisis comes good things. So when we're allowed to reopen, because we do have the space and the different decks, I think we will have no problem with our guests as they come on board, because they will not be confined in what we call a shoes box design shoes. They will have a yacht beauty with a lot of spaces. Sunboat 3, one of the most beautifully designed ship, was named by the Architect Digest as the most beautifully designed river ship. And that boat really is a gorgeous beauty of art. It was designed by the by the wife of the son of the famous actor Omar Sharif, along with Mrs. Jory Kent. So a great combination. You can see it from the exterior to the interior. The interior here is more of a nomad, more really of the nostalgia and the era of Egypt of the 1930s. A beautiful Howard Carter bar, the pool which looks like an oasis, the restaurant which looks like a tented desert, dining area. Just every corner on that boat has a volume of energy and excellent design. To finally, the Dahabeeyah, which is a 6-cabin boat. The Dahabeeyahs, in my view, will become very popular, particularly for families, because now with, again, COVID-19, people will maybe be looking at more exclusive, lesser busy products, which again makes all of our boats stands out, because the number in general are not that big. But with this boat, which is normally offered for a private charter, this would be an ideal boat. This boat was designed to reflect the royal sort of kingdom of Egypt of the 40s and the 50s. And again, it's the same concept: space, comfort, slick, elegant, in sort of bright kind of design. The boat has been visited and chartered by some of the most iconic guests around the world, and a lot of guests who like the privacy and the real experience of the Nile. Every cabin on the boat has a signature design. This is the Omar Sharif cabin with the sort of blue cushions. The one above is the royal suite, named after a former king of Egypt, King Farouk. And the one with the apples and pears is the Napoleon suite. And the one below in brown is the Nubian cabin. So again, every corner has its own signature. And that's again what makes for a great experience on the Nile. Don't think that all of that is more priced than the market. I think we're very much aware of what the market prices are and where we are from the competition. So you would be surprised, and obviously Stila and the team will be able to obviously help you with that, and so do us. Again, when you do the Nile, most important is to ask questions about safety, about security, about privacy. And again, like I said, on a list of 10, I think we fit most of that, and we continue to stay on the top mark as we can. So part of that is the docks. The docks are very important. Most other ships do not have these private docks. So as a result, you'll find yourself with another 30 boats docked on the river, which of course is a problem. And now it's going to be even much worse because of the COVID-19. And this again is something that we feel is privileged to us, that we have our own private dock in Luxor, as well as our beautiful private dock in Aswan, which is 450 meters. Certainly a place to jog, a place to walk, a place to enjoy the serenity and the beauty of the area. Talking about new adventure, of course, I want to start with the Grand Egyptian Museum. It's the largest archaeological museum in the world. It will be open October 2021. It was set for this year, but unfortunately, it's been delayed because of the pandemic. It has about more than 100,000 ancient artifacts. The King Tut new home that would include the entire collection of artifacts found within the tomb, and the mummies will also be moved there. The plan is to have a grand opening, which I hope that we will be able to see most of you during that time, because that will be a great festivity of all time. There is a plan to do the festivity for an entire month, maybe, or more. It's really an incredible, incredible work. It's about, I believe, $2.3 billion. And it's going to be very, very impressive museum and a true gift to the world of archaeology. The virtual tours, and I encourage some of you to go and enjoy those. They are right now all registered on the Ministry of Antiquities and Tourism site. So you could go and do these tours right now. The Jewish heritage, which we spoke about a little bit earlier, which again, we have a great connection with the Jewish community here, that we're able to open up the sites and do some special visits to our guests. Enjoying Egypt from above, being able to take a balloon above Luxor, or even now possibly in Cairo soon. That's an incredible, again, experience. Or having a felucca dinner on the Nile in Luxor or in Cairo or even in Aswan. We actually have a great number of those that we work with, and we try to make the experience, again, a little bit more romantic, a little bit more touchy. So you have your water, you have your life vest, you have the sailboat crew doing some music or songs, creating a bit of real life, simple experience. The walking tours, which I think we're very proud of also becoming pioneer in that, because we have a team that is expert on this. As you know, Cairo is a beautifully designed city, very cosmopolitan, between French, Belgium, and British kind of architect, and of course Egyptian touch. So a walking tour of Cairo is something that is very simple, very down to earth, but very, very, very experiential. And it's safe and it's nice. Only, of course, concern sometimes is when you're crossing the streets, but don't worry. We're very used to that, but it looks a bit chaotic. But that's part of it, also a very enjoyable experience. But that's something that you will be able to really enjoy when you come, and obviously stop for a drink in the local restaurants, or or a bit of a shopping. The team, I want to talk about the team. We have about 350 staff members. We're very proud to say that all of them are still with us. And during this time, again, we continue to train, we continue to build capacity. We believe the business will be back, and it is coming back. And it is important that our staff are ready to engage with your guests when you decide to send them. So a lot of vocational training, a lot of site trainings have taken place, and more to come, obviously, in July. That includes great guides. We've organized a couple of guides meeting. All of it is obviously virtual, and countless number of virtual other trainings in different kind of sectors within the industry. Insider Access is a great tool of A&K Egypt, whether it is, like I said, to meet with somebody notable like Mrs. Sadat, or to tour the pyramids and visit the bows of the Sphinx with the famous Indiana Jones of Egypt, Dr. Zahi Hawass, who work with us all the time, or to go into one of the discoveries or the missions of discovery, or like I said, to visit this new palace that will be open very soon, or to go into some of the tombs in the after hours, or to have a private lunch on an island, or to visit the Temple of Abu Simbel, or the Palace of Abdeen. So a lot of different things that we can offer. I want to say that Egypt will open on July 1st, officially to tourists. When Egypt opened first, they will open only 3 geographical areas. One is the Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh. Second is Hurghada. And third is the North Coast. The reason they did that is because those areas are very easily to control the borders and basically confine the in and out. And they want to do that as a trial period. So I think it shows commitment from the Egyptian government that they want really the best for their citizen and the best for our tourists. And so those 3 areas will run for trial between July, August, and possibly September. And then the Nile will reopen. The plan is to allow you with a 25% capacity up to 50% capacity, and that then will be reviewed maybe sometime later in the year, and that would also apply for the River Nile. Now, everyone in Egypt is very disciplined with the issue of wearing masks, social distancing, and all of that. Slowly, the government is changing curfews and those restrictions. The numbers so far is about more or less below 50,000 cases of corona. I think the death rate is about 2,000, and the daily rate is about maybe 1,500 or less. With that, I want to say we thank you for your time. I'm very much looking forward to your visit. And thank you so much, Stila, for organizing this.
Thank you, Amr.
I'll take it for questions and answers.
Yeah, thank you so much for these great inspirations. I was in Egypt last year. I want to go back now when I heard so much about it again.
Please.
Yeah, as already mentioned, as Amr also said, you can now ask us any kind of questions. If you have questions later on, you can always contact me or my colleagues. Let me see if anything is open right now. There are some thank yous at the moment. Thank you for joining us. Amr, are you around? I would have a question for you.
Yes, I am.
Great. Yeah, I wonder, how do you feel about people coming to Egypt now? Is Egypt ready to receive tourists? How do you feel about it?
Of course, excited, delighted to hear that people will be coming. I understand certain countries will be sending tourists to Egypt. We heard about Italians, we heard about some other nationalities from Eastern Europe. It's very exciting news. I think it's a good step from the government to allow first tourists to come to certain zones which are more controlled and easy to confine as a trial period. So I think, yes, we are ready for tourists to come back. And we're actually seeing already in the office a lot of requests in the last 10 days, definitely for the winter.
Very nice. I think there are definitely quite some nations looking very much forward to
Yes.
travel and to travel to Egypt. I heard a lot of excitement. There is one question where you can send a request. I will send you my email address, and your request you sent to your, I am here for Switzerland and Italy. Then I have my colleagues, they're covering Germany, France, Belgium, Spain, Portugal, and so on. So depending on where you're from, that's your contact. But I will answer you privately, and then we'll figure it out from there. If anybody has a question, great. Yeah, it seems that nobody else has typed any question in right now. You can always get back, as I said, contact me or anybody else from our team. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us today. We really hope that you found some inspiration now. For more information or to get a quote, feel free to contact us at any time. Within the next few days, we'll send you a short follow-up email with a link to the recording of this webinar. Also there's going to be obviously our email and contact. You're welcome to share this and the recording with your colleagues. I wish you all a nice rest of the week, and I hope that we can welcome you again soon on our A&K virtual tour. Next stop will be Jordan on Tuesday. I hope to see you there. Thank you so much, Amr, again. Goodbye, everybody, and have a wonderful day.
Thank
You as well. Bye-bye.
Bye.